KSI, Dylan Dennis, nixed. Not surprised. Did a whole video on how I thought Dylan Dennis wasn't going to show up. And what do you know? He didn't. Pulled the hell out. So, KSI is feuding with Jake Paul. So I got Dr. Matt here. This is where it is. KSI's got a new opponent. No, it's face temper. It's not Jake Paul. But the two are feuding. KSI says that he wants to fight Jake Paul, potentially, to prove who the king of the boxing YouTube scene is. What's holding him back is Jake Paul, the weight class, all the mundane details that are mundane to us, but important to the fighters, of course, and their teams. Jake Paul, on the other side, says that he sent KSI a contract that KSI did not accept. Well, we've already seen or heard of the state of Jake Paul contracts. I mean, I'd probably sign because I don't have KSI Jake Paul money, but these guys don't have to sign this shit. They're already paid. So why would they sign their own death certificate? Dr. Matt, I give it to you. Is a potential boxing match between KSI, who's got his Misfits promotion with DAZN, and Jake Paul, who has done his thing with DAZN, but is currently with Showtime as far as boxing is considered. Would this really decide who the king of the YouTube scene, the YouTube boxing scene is? And do you care?
I don't really care, but I think it's the fight that Jake Paul needs to fight in order to seal what he claims. I'd rather see Jake Paul and KSI fight than I'd rather see Jake Paul fight anybody else right now.
Well, KSI was on Errol Hawani's show discussing the pullout of Dylan Dennis. He originally said that he was supposed to fight Logan Paul. Logan got hurt. And then it was up in the air between Tyron Woodley and Dylan Dennis to fight KSI. And they chose Dylan Dennis because they thought he would be more wild and crazy in there and, generate more action. I can't disagree with that because Tyron Woodley doesn't throw his fucking hands. So with that being said, what do you think about the fact that KSI was about to get in there with potentially Tyron Woodley, and we know what his history is with Jake Paul? What does that say to you for Tyron Woodley and a potential matchup between KSI and Jake Paul? Go ahead.
Is Tyron desperate for money now or something? I mean, he needs to just go on ahead and hang that idea smooth up, bro.
Yeah, I just don't. Go ahead.
I would have been disappointed if he had signed KSI would have signed to fight Tyron Woodley.
Well, that's funny that you say that because after KSI chose Dylan Dennis, Woodley wasn't happy with that, and he went on social media talking crap, you know what I mean? So he really wanted that fight, and he really wanted that money. I think Woodley's just trying to cash out his notoriety in any way he can, even if it's sacrificing himself athletically in the twilight years of his career athletically. With that being said, Tyron Woodley, I don't see him getting into another MMA promotion. I just don't see that happening unless they're willing to break the bank. I mean, PFL is doing their pay-per-view division of guys that don't have to compete in the tournaments with 50-50 profit share. But do they ask a Tyron Woodley to take part? I mean, he's a former world champion. So I'm sure that will add buzz, and you can say that when you're promoting his potential fight. But you look for his opponent to bring the excitement. What? Tyron Woodley don't throw no hands. We're off the point here. KSI, Face Temper, Misfits, DAZN, Jake Paul, PFL. We'll see what happens, and I'll be back to cover it.
Hey.